Welcome back to another episode of Unscripted, the go-to podcast for those flipping the script and taking the unexpected path. I'm your host, Jessica Bergio, holistic life and business coach, author, speaker, and self-proclaimed high-energy hype girl. Each week, I'm bringing you inside. No gatekeeping here. I'll touch on proven holistic business strategies, powerful mindset shifts that have led my clients through massive transformations, and no BS conversation with industry leaders designed to help you get out of your own way to actively pursue a life of purpose. If you're ready to ditch the limitations at the door, hit follow and get ready to be activated to step boldly towards your big goals. Now let's dive in. We are here for another episode of Fuck Yeah Friday. I hope this episode finds you really well. I hope you're doing amazing. But if you're not, we're going to go over a few things that I feel are going to be beneficial for you to maybe pop back into a more positive headspace, to think about things a little bit differently. And that is why, if you were curious where we came up with Fuck Yeah Friday, FYF, it was born from a need that it wasn't even my original idea. And this is where I don't even gatekeep and I never pretend like somebody else's amazing idea was mine. When I was in my very first mastermind back in early 2019, somebody coined the phrase Fuck Yeah Friday. And there was like a thread between a handful of us in that group where we used to celebrate our wins. And being the newbie in the group and thinking I was one of the newest early stage entrepreneurs, when in reality, I'd been an entrepreneur for almost 22 years in the hair industry, I felt like I couldn't, quote unquote, steal that term and repurpose it anywhere. And so somewhere along the lines, it clicked for me probably about a year or two ago. And maybe it was longer than that. I can't even remember. And I was like, you know what? FYF means something to me. So much so that I've changed the episodes that used to go out on Thursdays to strictly solo episodes with me, where we talk about our wins. We share the power of celebrating our wins, big or small, because we can always find a win somewhere in our week, even if you're having the shittiest week of all time. So today's episode is all around how I decided to finally launch this retreat this year. And it didn't come easy, because you might be thinking, you've hosted retreats before, you've done networking events. Yes, all of the things. But this year, my big goal, my stretch goal, was to host my very first big event. It was going to be called Unscripted Live. And as I started to put the pieces together, the vision was there. I've attended so many big events. I knew exactly what I wanted mine to look like, feel like, all the things. And as we started to put vision into action, I started to feel a sense of overwhelm and resistance. Not because the planning was hard. Everything was actually a little too easy because I had been planning it in my head for over 5 years. The problem I noticed was that my energy and my focus was being taken away from the mastermind I had just launched earlier this year, Unscripted the Mastermind. Now, y'all know I'm a single mom half the time, and I have a almost 13-year-old who is navigating his ways through junior high. Yeah. I also have a partner who lives in a different state, so I travel back and forth frequently from San Diego to Arizona. I am running my online business. I have a full-time podcast agency. I have my own podcast. And I was like, listen, Jess, you are one person. You do have a team, very, very small team. Shout out to you, Drea. Shout out to my business coach, Matt. But if you put this on your plate and you start trying to plan a large-scale event, how much is going to be taken away from the mastermind women who have currently invested in you? Probably a lot. And that was the resistance I was feeling. That was the challenge that was starting to arise, was that I was excited to plan this event. And I didn't want something to be more important than my prior commitment, which was running this high-level mastermind for the very first time. What I'm going through and the things I'm teaching in this current round of this mastermind are different, and they are being tested in some sort of way. I've literally taken the last 5 years of being fully invested myself inside other people's masterminds, working for Chris and Lori Harder inside Fast Foundations, their early stage entrepreneurial mastermind, being in a multitude of different rooms with high-level women, high-level men, having opportunities over the last 5 years to read so many new books, see how different people are not only running masterminds, but running their businesses, taking everything I learned over 22 years in a brick and mortar, client experience, building out programs, you name it. This is the first time I've run Unscripted the Mastermind. So it was a birthing that was ready to be birthed. I was so ready. There was no fear. There was no resistance around launching this. I knew it was time. And when people started knocking on the door, like, when are you going to do a mastermind? Or when they start asking you, where are you going to start investing? And it just all fell into my lap. Now, That's not to say that I haven't for the last 5 years been planting the seeds, watering the tree, watering the plants. Now we're growing. And so, like I normally do, my visions are so big, I have to realize sometimes I can't create everything at one time. And so my drive and goal this year is to stay completely focused on the things that I said I was going to do. So when it came time for me to figure out how to still show up on a larger scale and give the opportunity for the girls that are in this mastermind a chance to mastermind, network, and learn from, meet a collaborative set of other women. That was like my vision and hope for the bigger event. I thought I'll open up their retreat one extra day. We were going to do a 2, now we're doing a 3-day, and invite other people into the 1 day who maybe couldn't invest in the full time of the mastermind, or who have never been in a mastermind, or maybe some of these in-person 1-day events are a little out of budget. I've managed to figure out how to make it hopefully inside your budget, fill it with tons of value, connect all the people I know in one room, right? Who are really going to help you move the needle in not just your life, but your business. And so that's how Unscripted, the retreat, is now. It's a fully holistic, I believe, 1-day mastermind where you can come and get a taste of what it's like to be in a longer term container, but also really come in and leave with some tangible next action steps to take your business to the next level, to maybe let go of some things that haven't been working, assess what has, meet some new high level people, and then just continue on with maybe an accountability partner from the group and just a lot of clarity. My favorite thing is to help you go from feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, confused, to feeling really clear on your next action steps, feeling a little bit more confident than you did when you walked in, maybe even 10x level next confidence, and really showing you that if you tap back into your intuition, if you start listening to that voice that's, I know, already there, but sometimes gets overcrowded with all of the chaos from the outside world, you actually know what it is you need. And sometimes we need a sacred space like a retreat to be able to tap back into that magic that already is inside of all of us. So I just want to share with you guys what the schedule is going to look like for the day. If you've been on the fence about jumping into something, this is the easiest way to come be in person. Experiential is the absolute best. There is nothing like being in person. Absolutely nothing. So the run of show is going to be, we're going to do coffee and connect first thing in the morning from 9 to 9:30. I'm just going to read this off. We're going to do a group introduction where we all get to share a little bit about ourselves. We're going to start with slow flow yoga led by yours truly, since yoga is one of my passions. I am going to have the most incredible meditation sound healing session for you guys with a good friend of mine. She's going to come in and do that. Next, we're going to deep dive into our human design and how to use that for strategy in your marketing and your business. Next up, we're going to have one of my good friends, Dr. Megan Daly. She honestly could speak to so many different topics, but she is very similar like me with a giant pivot in her life due to something instrumental that happened. I don't want to give it all away, but we're going to talk a lot about alignment and purpose in your business. My girls from the East Coast are coming out to do a workshop around creating content that is unique to you, right? Creating good content. And if you've been following me on social, you can see sometimes I get hot about other people's shit because I'm like, quit wasting our time with bullshit posts. It's all about quality over quantity, guys. Okay? Listen to me when I say that. Quality over quantity. If you don't have some good shit to post today, please don't post some bullshit that's going to take up my feed and waste my time. And I think I'm speaking freely for even you. We should all be creating more than we consume. Okay? So I've got some other women coming to talk about building community in your business and how events are actually how they met and started their businesses, because honestly, events have literally changed my life. And then in the evening, we're going to break out into mastermind groups and really deep dive into our businesses and deep dive into what's working, what's not working. Find somebody in the room who maybe has a skill set you don't have in order to take your business to the next level. It'll be our opportunity to basically do a roundtable on your business, and you each get an individualized amount of time to figure out, again, what's working and what's not. And then my right hand, basically, Drea, her and I are going to deep dive into the strategies, the processes, and the systems that we use to run all the things in my business, how we've taken things to scale, and what we're doing on the back end to grow my podcast, grow my social media, nurture my email list, build my text community, all the things. We're not gatekeepers whatsoever. You're going to walk away with so many tangible action items to implement into your business and life. You will feel like this was value packed and you can't believe it was only If you're getting this at the early bird price, it's $5.95. I'm not sure when you're listening to this episode. Hopefully you're able to snag the early bird price. But I honestly feel like so many events are amazing, but you don't always leave with tangible next action steps. You don't always leave with somebody's phone number to stay in contact with them. You don't always leave with an accountability partner. That's not going to happen here. So if you're listening and you're like, I don't want to be someone's accountability partner, I don't want action steps, this probably is not the mastermind retreat for you. This is for the women who are ready to lock arms with other women, be invited to the table and invite people to the table, and know that because you are giving, you are getting, right? So many times people come to me and they're like, what do I get when I come into your world as far as like maybe coaching or the mastermind? And honestly, we usually get what we give, meaning how is the energy that you are showing up in the room? What are you bringing to the table? Now, this doesn't mean you have to know all the things and be the one coaching to the room, but what energy are you bringing into the room? Sometimes that's all we need is an energetic shift. Somebody who's approachable, somebody who is open, somebody who is willing just to play full out. That's all that the requirements are for coming to this. I guarantee events like this will change your life. And if you know me and you listen to this podcast, I am an over-deliverer. Okay, I don't even think that's a word, but today it is a word. Again, I want you to stop for a minute. I want you to think about what is my biggest win from this week? What am I the most proud of myself for this week? And I want you to screenshot. I want you to tag me on social media or send me a DM. Send me a DM, send me a voice note. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have somebody in your life that doesn't celebrate themselves enough, or you want to celebrate them, send them this podcast episode. Let them know you were thinking of them and maybe drag their ass to Phoenix for this retreat. I think it's going to be amazing. I know it's going to be life-changing. I know I'm going to bring the heat, all the value, all the things. June is a beautiful time to be here in Scottsdale. It is warm. It is sunny. We've got a beautiful Airbnb that we're hosting this at. We've got a chef-inspired dinner, networking, connecting, dropping in, getting grounded, taking action, all the things. You're going to think this day was 3 days in one. So if you're interested, let me know. All the links below in the show note to check out the sales page and see if this is a right fit for you. If you are someone who's like, Jess, I've been watching you. I love your energy. I see what you're doing inside your mastermind. I am ready. When is the next one launching? That will be in July. We'll be running that mastermind in July for 5 months. And hopefully that one will end with another retreat like they usually do. So you may, not promising, but you may get another opportunity to come to a retreat at the end of the year if for some reason this one doesn't work for you. But I promise you, the more events that you can get into, the more rooms you can collaborate with women in, the faster your business will grow. The bigger your network will grow. And if you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, your network is literally your net worth. It is why things just work for me now, because I've taken the time to create visibility, position myself as an expert in some arenas. I'm consistent on this podcast. I get into rooms. I bring the energy. I play full out. These are all possible for you too. And maybe you're doing them. So I want to shout you out. Congratulations. This is the work, guys. This is the work. And I see you. I honor you. I know we can always turn it up a notch. I know we can always get into another situation where we create more opportunity for ourselves. So not only is this your invitation, this is your opportunity to invite somebody else to the table. So I want you to hit stop right now. Send this to somebody that you love, that you want to spend some time with, and that you want to help encourage. As always, you don't got to take the scripted path. You can flip that script and make it your own. I'll see you guys on the next one.